Hello. Hi, Avery. Can you let me know how the audio is? Is the game too loud? Too quiet? Audio's fine? Okay. Cool. We continue then. Nick? Yeah? Did you know that Von Karma's daughter is only 18? Just like me? Yeah. Why? I was just thinking about how strong she is. I mean, she's been in Germany all this time all by herself, and she's so grown up. Yeah, and I'm sure she felt a lot of pressure from her father's reputation. And then you look at me and, well, I'm the daughter of the master, but I'm still just a little girl. And on top of that, I'm the suspect in a murder trial. And guess what? This isn't the first time. But I think you're really strong too, Maya, for all you've gone through.
Good morning. The two of you look like you're doing well today. I'm happy for you.
Hey, morning, Pearly.
You'll be safe today, Mystic Maya.
Huh? What do you mean?
My mother is coming today to show her support.
Yeah, that's right, Pearly. Hey, Pearls.
Yes, Mr. Nick?
Do you think you could do me a big favor? Could you channel Mia today, too?
Huh? I was sort of hoping to sit in the audience today and watch.
Please. It's very important to me. I don't feel confident enough without her help.
Mr. Nick, that's enough. You can't show weakness in front of the person you love.
Pearly! Not this again. Please. Can you do this for us, Pearls?
Alright, I'll do it. I'll do it for Mystic Maya's sake. See you later then. I'll leave you two to your alone time.
Phew, thank goodness.
Nick?
This way, Pearls won't be able to see today's trial.
What do you mean? What's going on?
If only you knew. Court is now in session for the trial of Maya Fey. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Let's start already. Mr. Phoenix Wright, I look forward to tonight's news with great joy. The image of your defeated face will be transmitted all over the world. All over the world, huh? Sounds like you've made it quite a name for yourself, Phoenix. Don't be foolish, you foolish fool wearing the foolishly foolish clothes. The famous one is me. I'm the prodigy who's never lost a case since becoming a prosecutor 5 years ago. Naturally, the world's eyes are on me as I conduct my first trial in this country. That's nice, Miss Von Karma. Glad to see you're in such good spirits today, Miss Fey. It's true what they say. Women really are scary when they fight. He's so right. He's so valid for this. Now then, a very interesting theory was presented during yesterday's session. Thank you for the alert, Kimono. Have a good one. That the defendant could have left the channeling chamber, correct? Yes. And this key is proof of that. This key, the only key to the channeling chamber, was not where it should have been. Your Honor, I would like to say one thing before we begin. All right, let's hear it. The prosecution has determined that from the time of the murder to the time of arrest, the defendant did indeed leave the room at one point. What? But, Miss Von Karma, then how do you explain this picture? Are you saying, then, that the person in this picture is not the defendant? I never said that wasn't the defendant. But then what is the meaning of this? All I'm saying is that Maya Fey, after killing the victim, exited the room. And I believe that is when she dropped this key. In the incinerator? I think not. Can you substantiate your claim? Isn't that what I'm here for? The prosecution would like to call the defendant's aunt, Morgan Fay, to the stand. Just as I suspected. Aunt Morgan. Poor Mia. She seems really torn by this. Witness. Name and occupation. My name is Morgan Fay, and I am a spirit medium, in a manner of speaking. I'm sorry, but what do you mean, in a manner of speaking? In a manner of speaking. Ah! I don't think anyone really cares. Now then, after the murder took place, you kept watch over the defendant, correct? Yes, that is correct. I performed the spirit severing technique on Mystic Maya then. Spirit severing technique? A technique to remove a spirit from a body and send it back to the other world. That is... Yes, that is... You, be quiet. Now, witness. Something happened while you were performing this technique, correct? Yes, that is correct. What in the world could have... Mystic Maya. She escaped from the room. But what? And here we come to the heart of the matter. Maya Fay, while in a possessed state, managed to escape from the channeling chamber. Order, order, order. Miss Fay, please testify to this court what happened during that time. Your Honor, I will try my best. I think someone just upped the ante on this trial. Maya's escape. After we heard the gunshots, those two broke the door open and entered the chamber. I requested that Mr. Wright and the other lady please contact the police. A pistol was hanging from Mystic Maya's hand, and she was in a daze. Then, quite suddenly, she thrusted me away from herself and escaped from the room. With great strength, she hit the base of my neck, and I fainted for a short while. I'm afraid I have no knowledge of where she went after that. And then she came back to you, huh? Very convenient, isn't it? Why have you hidden this until now? I did not wish to cause more trouble for Mystic Maya. However, I must correct falsities when they arise. That's right. She's simply correcting a falsity, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Why is she making it a point to take a stab at me? Never mind. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. My aunt is a very smart and sly person. It's going to be hard for us to find a crack in her testimony. Okay. After we heard the gunshot, I requested the pistol was hanging from Mystic Maya's hand and she was in a daze. During our investigation, you stated that you struck the defendant on the head, and this strike caused Maya to lose consciousness. Do you stand by this statement? I'm afraid I don't. The statement I gave you was a lie. But why would you lie about something like that? It's very painful for me to say this, however. Objection! The witness was lying to cover for the defendant. She was covering for Maya? So, you were covering for the defendant? Well, yes. It was only later that I was informed of what had occurred. That the renegade Mystic Maya had done something very unexpected. Something unexpected? What, pray tell, did she... Oh! This witness didn't and couldn't have seen what happened. If you want to know what this unexpected thing was, there's always later. Yes, very well. Ugh, why does it suddenly feel like there's a rock in the pit of my stomach? Now, witness, continue with what happened. Let me know what happened. Was it really that easy for her to escape from you? I'm ashamed to admit to such a thing, however, yes. But you're physically larger and stronger than the defendant. There's no way she could have escaped from you so easily. Objection! Have you forgotten already, Mr. Phoenix Wright? What about this picture? Remember that at the time, the defendant was not physically Maya Fay. Ah! Growing old is such a mysterious thing. Trust me, I know firsthand. Basically, Mystic Maya's body was still that of the nurse she had called. But if she'd run away, wouldn't you have given chase right away? Well, yes, I would have. However... You fainted. I became dizzy and then collapsed onto the floor. How long were you unconscious? I'm not sure. About 10 minutes, perhaps. And the defendant almost certainly went somewhere in that time. Happy? Witness, elaborate on that point for us. Is that because you were unconscious? Why, yes. Great. Well, now what? So while you were unconscious, you have absolutely no idea where the defendant went. I would think that's obvious, good sir. If that's true, then how can you know for sure that the defendant left the channeling chamber at all? Now that you mention it, I have to wonder myself. It's true that this witness is not able to confirm this. But the key word here is this witness. What do you mean by that? It means she has another witness up her sleeve. That's what. It looks like Miss Von Karma's ready to move on to her next witness. I can't see a crack in her testimony. What should we do? For now, we should try and get more information out of her. After we get more information from her, we may be able to use it later to our advantage. Oh, press everything then, okay. Just now, you said those two. Who were the two people you were referring to? I was referring to that foreign lady and yourself, good sir. Lana's not a foreigner, despite how she talks. Oh, is that so? I'm sorry. I simply could not understand her atrocious English, not to mention she looked awful. I can already see people in the Heartland gearing up for a riot. In any case, I've already sent the repair bill to your office, Mr. Wright. Oh, thanks. What did you do after that, Miss Fay? Was it really necessary to have two people do something so simple as call the police? If there was a possibility of escape, then one of us should have stayed behind. Yes, that is a very good point. At the time, I myself was a little confused. On top of which, there was another... Another what, madam? Oh, it's nothing. No need to concern yourself. I want to hear the end of that sentence. Aha. There was another reason you wanted both of us out of that room, wasn't there? Source! You must testify. Why did you chase us out of the room? I simply did not wish for there to be more victims. The lives of both the good sir and the camera woman may be in danger, is what I thought to myself. Well, that was very noble of you, Miss Fay. This is bad. Now people have a good impression of her and a bad one of us. Looks like she caught us napping. That's my aunt for you. That's enough. From what I can tell, there is nothing wrong with this witness's testimony. And from what she has said, we can establish that Maya Fay did leave the chamber. I hope this isn't going to come back and bite us in the butt. Now, let us take the next logical step and ask, where did the defendant go after leaving the channeling chamber? Yes. That should be... Be quiet, you. Now then, what the escapee has done was she had gone to speak with a certain person. She went to speak with someone? Who was it? The prosecution calls Miss Miney, who was sleeping in the side room at the time. Miney? I think you can see where this is headed. Witness, name and occupation. Okay. So my name is, Miney. I'm, researching, parapsychology stuff at the, university. What is this parapsychology? Let's see. It's I guess, most people call it occult stuff. Even if that is what most people call it, I can't say I understand what that means. Then I suggest you go home and research it yourself. Yes, sir. Now then, Miss Miney, after the murder took place, you spoke with the defendant, Maya Fay. Is this correct?
Well, like, I get.
If that's the case, then let's hear your testimony. That is all right, isn't it, Your Honor? Yes, sir. For the love of all things good, Your Honor, have some spine. For my sake. After the murder.
Like, when the channeling started, I was, like, sleeping in the side room. Like, a little later, someone came into the room, like, really suddenly. It was like, oh my god, totally my sister. I, like, hadn't seen her in, like, so long. I was so happy in, like, a sad way. My sister, she, like, told me something, like, totally terrible.
Now hold your horses, young lady. You're saying that the person that entered was your sister. Don't you mean the defendant, Maya Fey? Really now, Your Honor. Maya Fey was still in the middle of channeling at the time. Are you saying that the spirit was the spirit of this witness's sister?
Yes, Miney.
She was a nurse at Dr. Gray's clinic. Oh, well, this is... Witness?
Like, yeah?
In your testimony, you mentioned a terrible thing. Why don't you tell the court what this terrible thing was? I'm sure we'd love to hear about it.
Like, do I totally, like, really have to?
Of course. Miss Miney, please.
My sister, like, this is what she said to me.
That was no accident. I was drugged with sleeping pills. I was murdered by that person. That's why I took my revenge. It's only fair, isn't it, Eni? She took her revenge. Are you sure that's what she said?
Yes.
There. Are you satisfied, Your Honor? I still can't believe it. I can't believe that a spirit would go so far as to use a medium to get revenge. It's a bit hard to swallow. However, all the evidence and testimonies point to this as the truth. The end. What do you think, Mr. Wright? It certainly seems like all the loose ends are accounted for. This testimony just now. Was it all made up? Was it just one huge lie? Of course it was, Phoenix. Mia! What do you mean? It's well constructed, but that's all it is. But even the most well-spun lies can be undone. We can do it, Phoenix. Let's find that one loose thread and unwind this tapestry of lies. Your Honor, there's room for doubt, so the defense will cross-examine this witness. We believe that our cross-examination will reveal the real truth behind this murder. Yet again, the foolish fool spouts out more foolishly foolish drabble. I wonder if you'll make this one more entertaining than the last. Okay, here we go. Cross-examining. I was sleeping in the side room. Okay. Was that because of your, sesame allergy, was it?
Like, that's right. I, think there were sesame seeds, in the lunch they served that day. I had this, premonition that it was going to totally be a seedy day.
Yes, indeed. I see. Am I the only one who missed the boat here? Anyway, so you were taking a nap. Did something happen while you were sleeping?
A little later, someone came into the room, really suddenly.
Do you know the time?
Maybe a little before 11 a.m. Something like that, I think.
11 a.m. Do we not know what time Dr. Gray was killed? Okay.
Yeah, like, my stomach is totally ready for, like, food.
No. I think you misunderstood me. I'm not asking what time it is now. I meant what time was it when the someone came into your room?
Oh, so, like, that's what you meant. Like, you should have been more, like, clear about it.
Sorry, my bad.
No, it's okay. Like, it's really...
That's it? Why'd you stop mid-sentence?
Did I? So, like, what was I talking about again?
Never mind. Witness, about this person who entered the side room. Are you absolutely sure?
I guess?
You guess. Was it or was it not your sister who entered?
Like, I don't know. I mean, like, I totally don't know your sister at all, Mr. Smith.
First off, my name is not Mr. Smith. Second, I'm an only child. But more than that, she's managed to mess up the question with her answer. Well, Mr. Wright, the defense rests. Well, that was a colossal waste of our time. Now then, witness, how did you feel when you saw Miss Miney? You were happy in a sad way.
Yeah, like, I mean, it was my sister.
But wouldn't most people react here with surprise at seeing a dead loved one alive again?
But like, maybe if I was like someone who didn't know about like the occult. But I like know all about the Kurine channeling technique.
The point here is the witness immediately recognized that it was her sister.
Yeah, like what she said.
Should I drop this line of questioning? No, of course not. So you really didn't think anything strange of the whole encounter?
No, like there wasn't any reason for me to like think anything was strange.
But, ow! Don't keep badgering her. You know the phrase objection? Could you try using that once in a while? Mr. Wright, this question of what the witness felt when she saw her sister, is it really that important? Oh yes, it's very important. It's very important, although I haven't quite figured out what it is yet. But I've got to bluff for now and make it seem like I know what I'm talking about. All right, Mr. Wright. Miss Miney, please amend your testimony.
Like, okay, I'm like totally cool with that.
I wasn't scared at all and her costume looked totally normal. Oh, really? Well, that's very interesting. Totally normal, huh? Oh, yeah. That was a very well-spun lie, Miss Eni. What are you babbling about this time, Mr. Phoenix Wright? It's well-constructed, but that's all it is. Stealing my lines now, are we, Phoenix? Miss Miney, may I remind you of what you said? You said that there was nothing strange about your sister's appearance.
Like, yeah, and?
But I don't think that's what you were thinking at all. Take a look at this picture. This is a picture of the sister you met. I would think that even you would be surprised if someone appeared before you like this.
The blood spray.
Miss Miney, why did you not include the blood you saw in your testimony? If you were really testifying and not lying, you would have noted it right off the bat. Order. Miss Miney, what is the meaning of this? Miss Miney, I'm thinking! Don't interrupt me! And what are you stammering about, Your Honor? That witness, her personality did a complete 180 there. Lots of people do that when they get on the stand, though. First of all, calm yourself, witness.
Like, I'm sorry. I, like, didn't mean to snap.
Now hurry up with the testimony. If you please. Ugh, the judge still looks a little shaken up. A lot of help he's gonna be. After the murder, part 2.
Like, the side room was, like, kind of dark, you know? So, like, the costume is, like, purple, right? The blood totally blended right in.
Girl! That part be white, though. How do I... Because this is not the purple part. How do I point that out, though?
And I, like, persuaded my sister it wasn't, like, right to do something like that. And then, like, I took my sister to the channeling chamber.
Uh-huh. Is that so? Uh-huh. Yes, now I see. And you've given us a clear reason for why you didn't notice the blood.
You think? Like, thanks, Gramps.
Are you satisfied, Mr. Wright? All right, I guess not. Very well, you may question the witness. And question I will. Side room was dark, and the costume was purple. Okay. You didn't see the blood?
Like, yeah.
But she must have had the gun with her at that time as well.
That's,
Are you going to tell me next that you didn't notice the gun either?
I, like, totally didn't. All I was looking at was, like, her face.
Continue. And what was your sister, Miss Mimi Miney, like at the time?
Well, she was, like, totally flipped out because she just shot Dr. Gray. But I think, like, she knew. She, like, said she did something really bad. And, like, she said she wanted to go with me to, like, apologize to Miss Morgan.
Did Mimi's spirit really say all that to you?
Like, yeah.
Was your sister calm by that time?
Like, I guess so. I guess maybe, like, taking her revenge on Dr. Gray, like, made her feel a lot better.
I'd like to feel a lot better too, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The sooner the better. She says with her whip at the ready.
And, like, Miss Morgan was the only one in the channeling chamber, you know?
May I ask you one more thing, Miss Miney?
Like, sure.
Was there anything you found strange, unusual, or just out of place?
Something out of place? Huh? Like, what do you mean? When do you mean?
When? When you... Ooh, We're going to the crime scene. I'm talking about when you were going to the channeling chamber, of course.
Like, no, nothing strange.
She answered rather quickly. Now what? Press harder. Think harder. I know you can remember something.
I, like, totally can't.
That's not good enough. You have to explain yourself clearly to this court. Do you think, Mr. Wright, that whether or not there was something odd on the way to the channeling chamber is all that important? Oh yes, it's very important. I ask because it's very important. Not that I know where I'm going with this. Very well. Miss Miney, if you will, please include a statement about this in your testimony.
Like, I don't get why, but okay.
Didn't see anyone on the way to the channeling chamber. Aha! Profile. Pearl. Hehehehe. You say that you didn't see anyone on the way to the channeling chamber. However, that is impossible.
Like, what do you mean?
I'd like to introduce someone to you. This is Miss Morgan Fay's daughter, Pearl Fay. Interesting. You have a semi-intelligent look on your face. So, what about this child? It just so happens that at the time of the murder, Pearl was playing in the center garden. The garden? Yup. Which means anyone walking through the area would have seen her. So, Miss Miney, what do you have to say to that?
No!
Objection!
As the court can see, she's a bit of an airhead. Also, she was leading her sister at the time. Do you honestly think she would have noticed a simple child playing? Preposterous. It's not preposterous, and I can prove it. What sort of foolish... There's no way someone walking along the winding way could not have noticed Pearl.
Take that!
This urn is my proof. An old cracked clay pot. What is that going to prove? Do you know why it's cracked? It's because Pearl broke it, that's why. She broke the urn. Yow! Why? Why do I feel like you're about to ruin my beautiful day? This urn was broken around the time the channeling started. And Pearl was the one who put it back together, while sitting right in the middle of the winding way.
What?
Miss Miney. Pearl was there in the winding way at the time. She was hard at work, putting the pieces of the urn back together, you see. If you couldn't see that while you were walking, I'd have to declare you legally blind. I think I've sufficiently proven one thing, Miss Miney. You are a masterful liar. Mr. Wright, you need to watch what you say. The one who needs to watch what she's saying is the witness. So, Miss Miney, tell us the truth.
About what?
About what? About where you really were at the time of the murder, of course. The witness just testified about that.
That's right. I was, sleeping in the side room.
Can I really believe her? Was she really sleeping in the side room? No. Your lies end here.
What do you...
The witness says that during the actual murder, she was asleep in the side room. And I say that's not possible, because there's clearly a contradiction here. Okay, wait a second. Wait a second. Oh boy. Contradiction. Where is this contradiction? I'm scum saving. Okay, I don't think it's in the evidence. So her testimony, I guess. Earlier in your testimony, Miss Miney, you made the following statement.
And, Miss Morgan was the only one in the channeling chamber, you know?
It's true that at the time, both myself and Miss Hart were not there. We'd gone to call the police.
So? What does that have to do with anything?
It's very simple. Miss Miney, how did you know that fact?
How?
I can see that Miss Fay was the only person in the channeling chamber. However, someone who was asleep in the side room couldn't have known that. Which means, Miss Miney, you did in fact go to the channeling chamber. But you didn't go there by way of the winding way. But look at the manor guide map. If one were to go between the side room and the channeling chamber, one would have to use the winding way. Yes, that's right, Your Honor. Which is why I ask this very important question. Where was the witness at the time of the murder? Miss Miney, please answer the question. Don't ask a question off a baseless assumption, if you please. Well, I suppose since you've put it out on the table, Mr. Phoenix Wright, you might as well answer the question for us. Where was the witness at the time of the murder? Now's your chance, Phoenix. Yeah! The only person who could have killed Dr. Gray was Miney. So now is the time to prove it. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer. Where was the witness when the murder took place? Channeling chamber!
Take that!
Miss Miney was here, of course. But that's the channeling chamber. Isn't that the crime scene? That's right. Miss Miney was at the scene of the crime. Order, order, order. That's wow! Mr. Phoenix Wright, have you lost your mind? Yesterday's testimony established that only the victim and the defendant were in the chamber when the channeling started. Yes, that is correct. Please explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Simple. Miss Miney was hiding at the scene of the crime. I was hiding? Where? Where was I hiding? Here.
Take that!
Here, of course. Behind the folding screen. Ah! Don't make me say this again. Recall yesterday's testimony. There ain't no way anyone was hanging out behind that folding screen. See, you stupid jerk! Quit being so quick to pin it on me, slime ball! Now, Miss Miney, what's so young as you shouldn't be saying? Shut up, Gramps, and you know exactly how old I am. I'm sorry. Looks like the pipe's about to burst. Guess I should help it along. The witness was hiding behind the folding screen with the help of this.
Take that!
Miss Miney, how were you able to hide yourself at the scene of the crime is very simple. You were hiding inside this box.
Ah! That tiny little box? No person can fit in that.
Lotta did. Sorry, but your theory has already been disproved. Lotta disproved you when she was hiding from me in it. But that clothing box was in the side room, right? Which means it has nothing to do with the murder at all.
That's right. I was sleeping there, so I should know.
That clothing box was there in the side room the whole time. Mr. Wright, do you think you can prove where the clothing box was at the time of the crime? Yes, with some evidence. And now, I present the piece of evidence that will prove that this clothing box was at the scene of the crime when the murder took place. I assume it's this. Take a look at this clothing box. You're so stupid. As if there's any sort of evidence in that old thing. What on earth? I don't have the time for you to sit there surprised. Hurry up and say it already. There's a hole. About 8 inches off the ground. A hole about 8 inches off the ground. Where have we heard that before?
The folding screen. It had a hole in the same height.
That's right. I hope this has opened your eyes to what happened. At the time of the shooting, the clothing box was sitting behind the folding screen, which is why the bullet from the pistol hit both the box and the folding screen. It went through the screen and then into the box. Miss Miney, you were hiding behind the folding screen, waiting for your chance. Yes, for your chance to kill Dr. Gray. Order. So, what you're saying?
Then, Mr. Phoenix Wright, what about this picture? Are you saying that the person in this photo is Miss Miney?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Miss Miney, you were hiding inside this clothing box all along. And you wore a medium's costume to masquerade as Maya Fey. To masquerade as Maya Fey? She had it planned from the very beginning. She would kill Dr. Gray and pin the blame on my client.
No! Stop!
I can't stand to listen to any more of this foolishness. If that's the case, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then I have a proposition. This whole idea that the witness moved the clothing box to the crime scene, pretended to be the defendant, killed the victim, and then fled the scene of the crime. It's not possible for one person to do all that by herself. That's correct. Good job, Francie. I always knew you were smart. It really is impossible. For one person to do all the preparations, that is. Ow! Need I remind you? The foolish receive no mercy. wait! Miss Von Karma, you said it was not possible for one person, correct? Look, you can't be serious. Miss Miney, you had an accomplice. This person. If it wasn't someone from Karine Village, you couldn't have gotten the costume. And if it wasn't someone from the Fae household, you wouldn't have had that box to use. Morgan Faye! Isn't that the wonderful lady witness we had earlier? What do you have to say to this, Miss Miney? You shot Dr. Gray with your own 2 hands. Do you deny it? I think this is what really happened. The murderer had planted herself at the scene of the crime long beforehand. Dressed in a medium's costume and wearing a wig, she pretended to be the defendant. And then, the channeling started. The murderer crept silently towards the other 2, both of whom had their eyes closed. First, she drugged Maya Fey with a strong sleeping agent. Then, she stabbed Dr. Gray with a knife. Next, she hid my client inside the clothing box. She did that so she could take Maya's place and frame her for the crime. But that's when something unexpected happened. Unexpected? Yes! Dr. Gray was actually not yet dead. With the last of his strength, he fired a shot at his attacker. And that is why the hole in the folding screen was so low to the ground. The murderer then took the gun from Dr. Gray and... After that, you and the other lady thought to break into the room. Yes, a gunshot is certainly something you wouldn't expect to hear. Which is why, upon hearing the shots, we forced our way into the channeling chamber. Miss Miney, she immediately covered her own costume with blood. And pretended to be Maya Fey. But that sort of deception would have been easy to see through. Which is precisely why Miss Morgan Fay chased us out. Please leave this area to me. Go quickly and inform the police. Hurry, before there are more victims here. What is one supposed to say? This is the real truth behind this murder. Who is that, laughing at a time like this? Ah! Oh, you simple-minded fools. I'm sorry. Are you still, by chance, evolving? What is it this time? Miss Von Karma. Surely. Of course it was me. Do you really think someone of Von Karma blood would lose due to something this petty? What in the world? Mr. Phoenix Wright, your argument is flawed in one very crucial area. And that is, if this witness is the real murderer, why would she go through all this trouble? Huh? Working together with a medium, pretending to be one, putting on this whole act. Oh no, my OBS. Come on, OBS. Connect for me. Come on. There we go. We're back. I don't know why it suddenly went out. But we're back now. What reason would she have to do such foolish things? Eh? Well, that's, Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what I was going to say. Oh, and one other thing. Why would Miss Miney want to kill Dr. Gray? Where is her motive? Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to say too. Yeah, motive. I don't have a motive. Motive? I can't say she has no motive here. I have to think of a motive now. What is her reason for wanting Dr. Gray dead? The reason you wanted Dr. Gray dead is this. Car accident? Do I do this one? Do I do this one? I guess about the accident, maybe? Nope, okay. Oh, or maybe not. Wait. Okay, don't be stupid. No one has proof that Dr. Gray drugged my sister, right? And you want to say I wanted to take revenge based on nothing? What do you mean by that? Senile, stupid Gramps.
I'm going to explain, so please listen, okay? It's been over half a year since I was discharged from the hospital. If I wanted revenge, then I wouldn't have waited this long. And besides, the guy that thought of the spirit thing was Dr. Gray. It was a total coincidence he asked me about it, you know?
She's back to her airhead persona. However, you see, ouch! Pathetic, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You failed to support your own theory. Wait, so I was wrong? The end. I think we have our answer, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What Miss Miney has stated is very true. The revenge plan is overly complicated, and she has no motive in the first place. Furthermore, there is no reason for Miss Morgan Fay to cooperate with this plan. You don't even have any truly decisive pieces of evidence to demonstrate your point.
So many faults, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
You should really learn your place. What happened? I thought I had her for sure.
See? It's just as I told you.
I hope you liked your slice of humble pie. Very well. I now conclude the cross-examination of Miss Miney. No! Thank you. Hold it. Your Honor, please allow the defense one more minute. All right. You can't lose here. Have faith in yourself, Phoenix. Mia. Yes, it does sound like a ridiculously messed up plan for a murder. But you know, regardless, that girl trained for this crime. Really? Listen, Phoenix. Everything happens for a reason. There's a reason for why she had to kill Dr. Gray. And it is also the reason she had no choice but to kill him in this fashion. Time is up, Mr. Wright. Your final answer, please. If you want to say that you could prove Miss Miney had a motive, then why did she kill the victim in this way? Can you provide the reason? Can I really do this? Yeah. I'm not totally confident here, but I know that I must press on no matter what. That's right, Phoenix. Only you could do this now. I will show and substantiate the fact that Miss Miney had a motive. Too bad. You're too late. My cross-examination has already ended after all. Eek! Interesting. I'll let you have your chance, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What? You're supposed to be on my side! Avon Karma only cares about the perfect win. As As long as you have the will to fight, I will knock you down, Mr. Phoenix Wright. And I don't care if you are my witness. So help me, I'll throw you out of my way. Oh, so help me, I'll throw you out of my way. Very well. The court will take a 5-minute recess. We will continue the cross-examination after we reconvene. Hey, wait a sec!
Is it really true about my aunt?
I'm afraid so, Maya. There's no way Eni could have killed Dr. Gray by herself. And under the circumstances, there's no one else other than your Aunt Morgan.
That's terrible. Why? Why would my aunt...
Everything's going just as I predicted, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Almost done with the case, that's correct. We're winning this. Except, hi, Queen.
Miss Von Karma! Why are you doing this? Why are you trying to take revenge on Nick? Nick had nothing to do with what happened to your dad.
Don't you have something better to be worrying about? Say, your own situation?
Looking down on me even though we're the same age.
Are you done yet? You've caused me enough pain and suffering. Not yet. My goal is to defeat you and let the whole world know of your defeat. But even if you do that, it won't bring your father back. Whatever. In the meantime, let's bring this match to its conclusion. And then we'll know who the real winner is. Yes, ma'am. Court will now reconvene. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. Can you prove Miss Eni Miney had a motive? Yes, I believe I can. Eni Miney and Dr. Gray have only one point of connection. And that is the car accident 1 year ago. The motive I'm looking for must be there. Miss Miney, please testify to this court about your car accident last year.
Huh? I thought, you wanted to, ask about my, motive. I, don't see the point in, bringing up the past.
Miss Miney, if you please.
Okay. I totally don't think it'll do any good, but...
It don't matter what you think, girl. No one cares. Last year's accident.
That was, last year in May. Something really bad had happened at, my sister's clinic around then. And, the night of the accident, my sis was totally tired while she was driving. I was, totally pooped too, so I, fell asleep in the passenger seat. I, woke up because of a jolt, and, it was a sea of flames around me. I, opened the door and, got away.
I think I've heard of this incident. It was all the talk on the tabloid shows day after day last year. Yes, and there was talk about Dr. Gray drugging your sister. Ugh! Those were merely rumors. Totally baseless gossip. Yes. Mr. Wright, you may question the witness. Right now, it's impossible to prove that Dr. Gray did in fact drug Miss Miney's sister. Yeah, which means I'll have to work this from another angle. We'll just press everything. Didn't some sort of medical malpractice happen at your sister's hospital then?
Yeah, that was in May too. The thing with all the patients dying was May 2nd, and our accident was on the 24th.
2 accidents back to back. Do you assume it's just a coincidence?
My sis was totally tired, so that's why, duh.
That was the malpractice incident where 14 patients died, correct?
Yeah.
What was the cause of the mistake?
I heard it was because the medicines, got mixed up.
Was that the fault of your sister, Miney?
Like, no way! Dr. Gray, like, wanted to blame it on my sis.
That incident has nothing to do with our murder here. Besides, the police report has already documented that it was entirely Miney's fault. Which means as far as the real facts are concerned, Miney is the one who made the mistake.
But, like, it really wasn't my sis.
Hold it!
She was totally tired. You mean exhausted?
Like, she had to talk to the police and, like, was being investigated, like, every day. It was, like, a totally terrible situation.
It's no wonder then that the car accident happened, huh? Press harder. So then, why didn't you ask to switch places?
Huh? Like, what are you talking about?
I meant switch drivers. If your sister was so tired, then you should have switched with her. True.
But, like, I don't, like, have a driver's license.
Huh? What? Size! What? Lady! We literally have your photo! What do you mean? This is news to me. I was not aware that you didn't have your license, Miss Miney. Miss Miney, please amend your testimony.
Like, okay. Anyway.
I was totally pooped by the night of the I was totally I woke up with a jolt in the sea of flames around me. I got I didn't have my license, so I couldn't take over. Aha!
Objection!
Excuse me? Miss Miney, that was a lame lie just now.
Like, what do you mean?
I know you had a license back then. This is a photo you took for the express purpose of getting a driver's license. What is the meaning of this, Miss Miney?
That's right. Yeah, I had, like, a license, but I didn't get it until after the accident.
No, you had it. You had it at the time of the accident. Director Hottie, or the guy pretending to be him anyway, said so.
What? Are you talking about that perverted fake clinic director?
Yes, the perverted fake clinic director. And how did you know Ouch! No one cares. Witness, when did you receive your driver's license?
Like, last November.
What? November?
The accident happened last May. That's a half-year lapse in time, Mr. Phoenix, right?
What in the... That's what happened, Mr. Wright. At the time of the accident, Miss Miney did not have a driver's license.
Ow!
Cry, and my whip will accommodate. Anyway, without a license, the witness and her sister could not have switched drivers.
I'm, like, glad you get it, but, like, even if I had my license, I, like, don't think my sis would have, like, let me drive.
Yow! Don't just stand there humming to yourself.
Not you too, Mia, with the whip and the pain and the ow.
Miss Miney, why do you think you would not have been allowed to drive anyway?
That's because...
I think this situation calls for a more detailed testimony. Miss Miney, if you please.
Like, how annoying. Oops, like, sorry, didn't mean to be mean.
I wouldn't be allowed.
Like, around that time, I was, like, really close to getting my license. My sis was, like, this totally big fan of cars and, like, really valued them. She, like, had just gotten this really shiny, bright red sports car. She, like, would say things like, no way am I letting a noob drive my car. So, like, that's why I ended up in the passenger seat that night, too.
I see. A bright red car for sports. Now then, the defense may question the witness. I'm not terribly knowledgeable about cars, but... It's okay, Phoenix. Me too. I know nothing.
Hold it!
She valued cars. How much would you say she valued her car?
Well, like, she'd flip out at, like, a drop of rain. And like, she would notice if someone like touched the car door with dirty hands.
In that case, why bother taking the car out of the garage ever? Why does she take such special care of the car?
How can you say that? It was a brand spanking new car.
New car?
Like, you wouldn't want to like get it dirty, would you, Mr. Lawyer?
I would think that cars getting dirty is just another fact of life, but I guess people who really love cars think otherwise.
Phoenix, try asking something with more significance, alright?
Well, Miss Miney, what kind of car was it?
Hold it!
It was a new car.
Yeah? She had like just gotten it. It was like from the UK.
The UK? Were those her boyfriend's initials?
And it was a really special model. She waited for a whole year for it to arrive.
I guess her love of cars would be the obvious next topic. I really don't know anything about cars, but I had a feeling this was bound to come up. Your Honor.
Yes?
Please have the witness append what she just said to her testimony. You mean the part about it being a special import car?
Yes.
Well, if you like cars that much, then that's not my point. Though, to be honest, I don't know what the point is either. Miss Miney, would you please fix your testimony?
Sure, whatever.
Her sister's new car was a totally special model from England. I was totally tired of this, a huge sea of flames, but I opened the right door and got out. Okay. Did we just submit this here?
Objection!
I remember this part, you fool. Miss Miney, do you remember this article? It's an article about the accident. You had said this in it. But I opened the right door and, like, got out. That's correct, isn't it?
Like, why are you suddenly asking me about that?
Your Honor, which side is the passenger seat? The left or the right? Well, it's on the right side, of course, because the driver's on the left side. That would be if it were an American car, but it would be the opposite in a British car. Opposite? The two of them were riding in a British car. In that case, the passenger side would be the left side. Ah! What do you mean by this? Miss Miney, you said that you had escaped using the right side door of the car. But if you were sitting there, then that means you were in the driver's seat. Order in the court. Order. Mr. Phoenix Wright is blabbering nonsense again. Eney said the person who was driving was her older sister, Miney. That is what Eney said, yes, but that is where her story falls apart. Somewhere, all of us made a big error in our assumptions. Phoenix, it looks like you finally found the real root of this murder. If we connect all the dots, there can only be one answer. I'd like to ask the court a question. Eney or Mimi? Who was really driving that night? Mimi. The answer is the one person who had her driver's license, Miney. After all, that makes her the only person who could legally drive. But you just said the witness, Miss Miney, was the one in the driver's seat. Which leads us to the next question. The next question? Who is the person standing at the witness stand right now? What sort of idiotic ruse is this, Mr. Phoenix Wright? This witness's name is... I'll tell you what her name really is. This witness's real name is... Oh boy.
Take that!
Miney. That is your real name.
Objection!
Of all the foolish dribble! Then, how do you explain her appearance? This witness had severe facial burns when she was admitted into the hospital. So for the purpose of facial reconstruction, the surgeons used a picture. Facial reconstruction surgery? This is the picture she gave to her doctors at the time. That's right. It's a picture of her younger sister. No! What, Miney? She died in the car accident. That's what everyone thought. However, that was not the case.
Then, the body they found at the crash site.
That was the body of the real Miney. Isn't that right, Miss Mimi Miney? That car accident 1 year ago. The one who died that night was Miney. Her sister, Mimi, then stole her face and was reborn as Eni. With this, she effectively erased Mimi Miney from existence. Your Honor, I'm sure you can now see why Mimi had to kill Dr. Gray. What do you mean? What is the meaning of this nonsense? Dr. Gray wanted to call back the spirit of a dead person. Specifically, the spirit of his nurse that died in the crash, Mimi Miney. However, that would not have been possible, because Mimi Miney was still in fact alive. And that fact would have been discovered had the channeling been conducted. So this witness had to stop that from happening. At all costs.
And that's why she had to kill Dr. Turner Gray? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Before the channeling, Dr. Gray had the misfortune of consulting this witness about communicating with the dead. And in that moment, his fate was sealed. Well, Miss Miss Von Karma. Why did you say my name just now?
Looks like I've been unmasked. Witness?
That's right. I admit it. My real name is Mimi Miney. That quack doctor. He got what he deserved in the end. And I was so close to finally ditching Mimi too. So close. But why? Why would you go so far as to throw away yourself? To become your own sister? I think I understand why. Mimi Miney wanted her old self to disappear because of this. Probably that, no?
That's about the malpractice incident.
Dr. Gray was right. The mistake was caused by the nurse. A nurse by the name of Mimi Miney. That's right, the person standing before us today. And a few weeks after this mishap, Mimi Miney had a car accident, in which she lost her younger sister.
The timing couldn't have been worse.
14 patients dying in that incident, and her own sister's life extinguished. It was all too much to bear.
I found a way for myself to escape it all. The only way.
She lost everything in the flames of that accident. Her sister, and even her own face. This was her last chance. Her chance to throw away her past and start a new life as her sister. Unbelievable. A plan beyond my wildest imagination.
That jerk. If only he hadn't thought of the channeling mumbo-jumbo.
Mumbo-jumbo?
Becoming Eni had been the most horrible experience in the world. Spirit channeling, the occult. I hate it. I hate it all.
Girl, there's this thing called changing majors. I believe there are still a few unsolved riddles here, such as, why did Miss Miney choose to go with such a complicated plan? And why did Miss Morgan Fay agree to help her execute it? Regardless, I believe one thing has been made crystal clear. The innocence of the defendant, Maya Fay.
This is preposterous! I'm perfect! Me, Franziska Von Karma.
I'm going to enjoy the news tonight, Miss Von Karma. How about you? It's going to be broadcast all over the world, right? Your defeat, that is.
Yow! Ah!
And one more for good measure. He's dead! Murder in the courtroom. Phoenix! Hang in there, Phoenix! Phoenix! This court is a fraud, a sham! Now then, it looks like it will be some time before Mr. Wright regains consciousness, so I will go ahead and pronounce the verdict. Not guilty! Yay! Phoenix is gone! That is all. This court is adjourned. Congratulations, Maya. Sis! It's good to see you, Maya. How are you doing?
Sis! I didn't kill anyone, did I?
No, you didn't. It was all just a dream. A really bad dream.
You know, sis, in my dream, I smelled a really familiar scent.
A familiar scent?
It was inside that clothing box, right? That box. That was the box you used to store your clothes in a long time ago.
That's right. There's still one thing I don't quite get.
What's that?
What would have happened if Mimi hadn't shot Dr. Gray? I mean, we broke in because we heard a gunshot. I think Mimi Miney had planned to open the door to the chamber herself. And then you and Lotta would have witnessed quite a scene. A possessed Maya Fey who had just committed a murder. She planned it down to the smallest detail, huh?
Nick!
Congrats, Maya.
Thanks!
Looks like you bailed me out of another jam. Well, you know.
But I really don't want something like this to happen ever again. I'm fine because I have you to help me out, Nick. But every time something happens, I lose someone special to me. First my sister, and now my aunt. Hey, Nick, tell me. Tell me why my aunt went and did something so horrible. Why would she help Mimi Miney with a plan like that? I just don't understand it, Nick.
Maya, it's over. Why don't we just let it be?
Nick, please, I need an answer.
The reason Morgan helped Mimi with her plan was... I think it's Pearl. Ooh, don't know. I guess so. Okay.
Pearly?
4 years from now, a new master will be born into Karayan Village. And that person will be you, Maya.
And?
But if you weren't there, then the main family's bloodline would disappear. And what would happen then?
The Branch family. My aunt.
No. Morgan's spiritual power is too weak. The next person would be Pearl's.
Ah!
Everything was done for her sake. It was also that Pearl's would become the next master.
Yeah, I can see that.
Did Maya say something just now? I think that she was saying, I thought so. Date and time unknown. My precious Pearl, you are the only one suitable to be the master of Karayan, dear child. I sacrificed it all for you. I helped that brainless nurse carry out her murder, and cooperated with that whip-happy prosecutor. It was all to unseat that annoying, witless main family girl. That Maya Fey. But I shall be patient, my dearest Pearl. A chance will present itself. Your time will come. Oh, so sussy. Oh. Hey! Turnabout Big Top. But I think we will end here for today. My voice is dead. So, thank you guys so much for coming. Yippee! Another trial done. Hopefully, I will see you next time. Bye-bye!